All right, let's talk about one of the most frustrating things in the AI world, amnesia. We're going to dig into how we can give our AI models a perfect, persistent memory, letting them learn, grow, and actually remember who we are from one day to the next.
I mean, you've been there, right? It's a question anyone who's used an AI more than once has screamed into the void. You spend all this time explaining your project, your preferences, your goals, and the very next day, it's like you're talking to a complete stranger. So why on earth does this keep happening?
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. The massive brains behind tools like GTP, these large language models, are fundamentally stateless. Now, what does that mean? It means they have absolutely no built-in way to remember anything from past conversations. They are incredible at processing what's right in front of them, but the second that conversation window closes, poof, it's all gone.
And this has some seriously annoying consequences. For users, you're just constantly repeating yourself. But for us developers, oh, it's so much worse. We have to manually cram the entire conversation history back into every single prompt. And that's not just slow and clunky. It gets unbelievably expensive in token costs.
So let's just call it what it is. We are dealing with the amnesia problem. And you could argue it's the single biggest roadblock to creating those truly personal, truly helpful AI assistants that we've all been dreaming about. But what if there was a solution that was elegant, powerful, and almost laughably simple? Well, say hello to Memori. It's an open source project designed from the ground up to be a plug-and-play memory engine for literally any AI, and it's built on standard, trusted tech that we developers already know and love. This right here is the core promise, and it is a big one. The whole goal of Memori isn't to add a bunch of complexity. It's to get rid of it. It's about solving that massive amnesia problem with the least amount of effort possible. So just how little effort are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's this simple. That's it. One line of code. You add memory.enable to your project, and bam, you instantly give your AI a persistent, searchable memory. This is that perfect aha moment where a giant, frustrating problem gets a beautifully simple solution.
So what are the huge wins here for developers? Well, first off, massive cost savings. We're talking 80–90% cheaper than using specialized vector databases for this. Second, and this is a big one, you own your own data. It lives in your SQL database, like PostgreSQL. On top of that, the integration is just dead simple. You're not locked into any single vendor, and it already works with over 100 different models right out of the box.
So a good way to think about memory isn't just as a database. It's more like an external brain that you can just attach to any AI to give it the superpower of memory.
And this is where things get really, really clever. See, memory doesn't just have one kind of memory. It has two, and they're based on a brilliant analogy: our own human brain. So on one side, you've got conscious mode. This is like your short-term working memory. It holds the absolute must-know facts, like your name or the main goal of the project, and it injects them once per session. Super light on tokens. Then you have auto mode. Think of this as your long-term memory. It can search the entire history for relevant details, but it only does it when you ask a specific question that needs that deeper context.
And here's how that actually plays out. Conscious mode is the fastest. It gives you that core context in a flash. Auto mode is a little slower, but it goes deep to pull out that rich, specific information. But the real power, especially for production apps, is when you use them together. You really get the best of both worlds, instant access to the key stuff, and deep recall whenever you need it.
Okay, so that's the what. Now let's pop the hood and take a look at the how. How does Memori actually pull this off without forcing you to completely re-engineer your application?
The secret sauce is its interceptor pattern. Before your prompt even goes out to the AI, Memori jumps in, fetches the relevant memories from its database, and cleverly injects them into the prompt. Then, after the AI responds, Memori catches the answer on its way back, pulls out the important info, and saves it as a new memory. And the best part? Your application code is completely oblivious. It all happens seamlessly in the background.
And Memori is incredibly smart about what it saves. This isn't just some messy text dump. It automatically categorizes memories. It actually understands the difference between a hard fact, like the database you use, and a personal preference, like your coding style. It can identify skills, project context, and even specific rules you want the AI to follow. And this chart just says it all. The old way of just dumping the entire chat history can easily burn through thousands of tokens. Now look at Memori's intelligent modes in comparison. They use a tiny, tiny fraction of that, all while providing better, more relevant context for way less cost. It's just a massive win for efficiency.
And all this powerful memory lives in databases you already know and control. We're talking PostgreSQL, SQLite, MySQL, even cloud providers like Neon and Supabase are fully supported. This isn't some proprietary lockdown system. It's your data in your database.
So Memori is already an amazing tool today, but it's also a project with a really bold vision for where it's headed. The roadmap lays out a super clear path forward. Coming up soon, they're adding things like vector search for even deeper understanding, plus better support for models like Claude and Gemini. Looking further out, they're planning incredible features like a shared team memory. Just imagine an AI that knows your entire team's context, and even the ability for the AI to understand relationships between memories. That's going to lead to some serious insights.
And this isn't just some concept on a whiteboard. It's a real, thriving open source project. With over 3,500 stars on GitHub, Memori is being built by a passionate, growing community of developers who are all chipping in to build the future of AI memory.
And that brings us to the last and maybe the most important question. Just stop and think about it for a second. What could you build if your AI never forgot a single thing? A coding partner that remembers every line of code in your project? A personal tutor that remembers exactly how you learn? A support agent that recalls every last interaction with a customer? The possibilities are just endless. So what would you build?